This video is not what you expect. I'm not going to talk loud or yell when I open a pack containing an Umbreon. In fact, this video is more of a deep dive on a set that I personally was really looking forward to, Prismatic Evolutions. But in fact, I have yet to this day been able to open a single pack of, because of scalpers and an underprinting of Pokemon. I, however, please don't feel bad for me, opened multiple cases of Terrestrial Festival, its Japanese counterpart. So what makes Prismatic Evolution so awesome that it's flying off the shelves, and people are physically assaulting each other at Costco's to get their hands on some? Today I'm going to explain why Prismatic Evolutions is so popular. I'm going to research all the crazy little tidbits about the set. It's time for a deep dive, folks. Why? So you don't have to. By the way, my name is Roger, and you're watching Tay's Crew, the Secret Pokemon Society. Okay, so Prismatic Evolutions all starts with this little Pokemon called Eevee. Definitely a fan favorite because of its superior cuteness factor. Is it the best Pokemon in the world? Not even close. I'm sure I'll get some grief about this, but I'm sorry, I'm not sorry. In the game of Pokemon, TCG or trading card game, or just the cartoon, Pokemon sometimes will evolve into other higher tiers of Pokemon, sometimes completely changing the way a Pokemon looks and its type. Eevee has 8 evolutions that it can evolve into in the set Prismatic Evolutions. That's right, I said 8. That means someone had some serious feelings about some cats, foxes, and dogs, and rabbits. Just saying. Because each one of these evolutions is a mix of those 4 types of animals. These evolutions include Jolteon, electric type, Flareon, fire type, Umbreon, dark type, Leafeon, grass type, Sylveon, fairy type, Glaceon, ice type, and Espeon, psychic type. And don't forget about Vaporeon, water type. These Pokemon have all been printed before in different sets, so what makes Prismatic different? First, you need to know that these 8 evolutions are some of the most popular Pokemon ever printed. All of the common, uncommon, and rare cards in Prismatic Evolutions will come in 3 versions. A normal version with no foiling, a reverse holo, aka parallel foil version, with the same foil pattern as other reverse holo cards from Scarlet and Violet series, and a holo version with a Pokeball foil pattern. But wait, there's more. For the first time ever in English Pokemon, select cards in the set get a Master Ball, which is much more difficult to pull than any of the other versions of the cards, depending on the card. To be clear, Master Balls were only available in Japanese sets until now. As always, the print run of the most popular of Pokemon will be harder to pull and raise the value of those certain cards. This is nothing new, but with the introduction of English Master Balls, that alone will make Prismatic Evolutions highly sought after. Also, there are normal EX cards, including Terrestrialization. I know what you're going to say. What in the world is Terrestrialization? The terrestrial phenomenon, or Terrestrialization, is a temporary transformation affecting Pokemon that was introduced in Generation 9. It gives Pokemon a gem-like appearance and changes its type. There are also 3 Ace-Spec cards, trainer cards, that can be easily identified by their bright paint colors in Prismatic Evolution. The set also has full art trainer cards and 32 illustration rare cards. In Prismatic, there are 26 alternate art Pokemon off of EX Pokemon like Umbreon, and 6 are trainers like Kieran. Around 2% of Prismatic booster packs contain a special illustration rare, or SIR for short. Another thing that makes this set so popular is the early on high pricing on the single cards. For example, the most recent set that featured all the evolutions was Evolving Skies, aka Evolving Cries. Many thinking it was a very hard set to pull the good cards. Take notice, Prismatic Evolutions has 180 cards total in the set, more with the variants of course, and Evolving Skies has 237. Keep in mind, some of the most expensive cards and Evolving Skies are indeed the evolutions. Now we have a set with evolutions with equal artwork and objectively 57 less cards in the set. Another take notice about Prismatic Evolutions are the early prices on some of the cards that make it so popular. Look at these numbers in January of 2025. It seems like insanity, but we'll see what happens as it gets reprinted and more becomes available. Here are the current prices in January 2025 for the 8 evolutions. These are the cheapest available on eBay, raw, not graded. Conditions vary, of course. Umbreon 1600, Jolteon 250, Flareon 280, Leafeon 380, Sylveon 490, Glaceon 500, Espeon 380, Vaporeon 305, and the Umbreon Master Ball at 350. All 8 of these evolutions have their own Master Ball version and SIR. Another factor of why Prismatic Evolutions is so sought after is the recent state of Pokemon collecting. In 2025, the demand for Pokemon cards is at an all-time high, with more collectors than ever and scalpers buying millions of dollars worth of product. And don't forget about the bot programs set up to buy on all of the most popular websites. It's getting harder and harder to get your hands on Pokemon products. So let's talk about the colors. First, what makes the Prismatic Evolutions pop is the stunning rainbow effects. But have you ever wondered why certain colors are used for each evolution? Well, each Prismatic version of these evolutions stays true to its original type, but with a unique twist. For instance, the Prismatic Flareon gets its fiery intense orange and shimmers in a way that almost looks like it's glowing. It's a visual representation of its fiery nature, but with added flair. Similarly, Prismatic Vaporeon uses these colors blue and purple that mimic the flowing nature of water, but with that extra iridescent sheen. The color palette isn't just random, it's a way to make each Pokemon feel even more like a masterpiece in motion. You've got that connection between the color choices and their elemental traits, but turned up to 11. What's interesting is how the color symbolism in Pokemon often plays into their evolutions. Water types are cool and calming, while fire types are passionate and energetic, and that's reflected in these stunning designs. Now let's take a step back and compare Prismatic Evolutions to other special forms in the Pokemon world. For a long time, shiny Pokemon were the ultimate rarity and sought after special version, but now Prismatic Evolutions has entered the scene and given shiny forms some stiff competition in terms of appeal. What's key here is that while shiny Pokemon are defined by being color swapped, which doesn't always make them look better, Prismatic Evolutions go way beyond simple color changes. They're unique with multi-dimensional, almost holographic look that emphasizes their rarity. These forms are more like a true event, so to speak. Something you have to really work for or wait for. So what does this mean for the future of Pokemon? Are Prismatic Evolutions a sign of a new trend, or is it just a one-off? It's likely we'll see more of these kinds of rare and visual distinct evolutions in future generations. Pokemon has increasingly leaned into special edition releases and time-limited events to keep collectors on their toes. Think about how Mega Evolutions or Gigantamax forms were used to inject excitement into the franchise. Prismatic Evolutions could very well be the next thing to boost interest in future Pokemon games or even cards. By offering exclusive, visually stunning versions, the franchise can continue to make the fan base invested in both collecting and battling. Of course, no special Pokemon form is complete without a good amount of community buzz. Fans have had mixed reactions to Prismatic Evolutions. Some love the new visual direction, while others are skeptical, feeling like it might just be a flashy gimmick. But hey, there's no denying that people love collecting them. Take a quick stroll through Twitter or Reddit or Instagram, and you'll see all sorts of opinions. Some fans have made incredible fan art to custom versions of Prismatic Evolutions, showing just how they've captured people's imaginations. Others are debating whether these forms take away from the pure nature of an evolution, especially when there's already such an emphasis on shiny hunting. But regardless of the opinions, one thing is clear: Prismatic Evolutions has sparked a ton of conversation in the Pokemon community. Let's shift gears and talk about the market of these evolutions. When it comes to Prismatic Evolutions, we're talking rare. That means we're also talking expensive. Whether it's for trading cards or in-game comment, the demand for these rare versions has made them a hot commodity. Prices can skyrocket for these prismatic versions, especially when it's tied to the limited time events or special releases. Collectors often treat these as investments. After all, Prismatic Evolution might hold its value over time, much like how vintage cards have grown in value. I mean, look at the difference between the Moonbreon and the Sunbreon. You can tell they're both going to be worth a lot of money. Of course, this is held to debates about ethics and collecting these rare forms. Are they about enjoying the Pokemon or about flipping them for profit? It's a delicate balance that only time will tell. Have you ever wondered how these Prismatic Evolutions actually get made? There's a lot more work that goes into crafting these new designs, and it often involves a team of artists working together to ensure they look both unique and complementary to the original evolution. Pokemon designers likely start with the basic evolution model and then tweak everything from the colors to the textures to make them shine in ways that feel fresh and new. These designs require careful attention to the Pokemon's characteristics and how the colors interact with light, ensuring that they don't just look different, they feel different. It's a mix of art, technology, and lore, all brought together to create something truly special. Now let's talk about the story behind these evolutions. While Prismatic Evolutions themselves don't always have a deep in-game backstory, there's still a lot of interesting connections you could make. Some believe that these evolutions could be tied to the mythology of Pokemon world, possibly even tied to the legendary or mythical Pokemon. Maybe these forms aren't just another aesthetics. Maybe they hint at a greater force or phenomenon in the Pokemon world. Something ancient and powerful that has the ability to change the very nature of an evolution. It's a fun theory, and one that adds another layer of intrigue to these already captivating designs. So whether you're a diehard collector, casual fan, or just someone who appreciates the beauty of these unique evolutions, there's no denying that Prismatic Evolutions has brought a fresh spark to the Pokemon universe. Who knows what other special evolutions we might see in the future, but one thing's for sure: the excitement and mystery surrounding them will keep fans coming back for more. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on Prismatic Evolutions in the comments. Do you love them or think they're just a flash in the pan? I'd love to hear your opinions. Catch you in the next one. This is Roger from Tay's Crew, the Secret Pokemon Society.